Hi there. So in this lecture, we're going to be covering math.random in a little detail. The reason is math object has a lot of methods and properties, but out of that, math.random is something that people always Google about. So even though you might know everything about math object, but math.random is probably something that you'll use more often than you think, and every time you will use it, you will want to Google it. Concept is very simple, but many people confuse it. So let's go deep into it and see what math.random is. As the name suggests, math.random, and as we have seen in the previous example, the moment you do a math.random, it will give you a random number. Now, what's the criteria for this random number? Well, the random number is always between 0 and 1. So every time you run it, you will get a number between 0 and 1. And it will be less than 1, which means it can be something like 0.999999, but it will never be 1. So it's including 0 but excluding 1. So what if you want random integers versus just 0.345 numbers? Well, there is a very good example. Let's say you want numbers between 0 to 9. You can do a console.log math.floor. And why do I do math.floor? I'll just get to it in a minute. Math.random. So math.random into 10. All I'm doing is multiplying it by 10. So you can see the numbers out here. The moment I multiply it by 10, the decimal moves one bit. Now, when I do a math.floor, it will reduce the value of the particular value. So let's say if it is 3.5 or 3.6, 2.2, even if it is 4.9, it will give you a 4. If it's 6.5, it will give you 6. If it's 8.3, it will give you 8. Even if it's like 8.9, it will give you 8. That's what floor does. So let's clear this and let's run again. The answer is 6. Now let's try to use the same random number in all these scenarios so that we know that what we are doing will make sense. So let's say let x equals to this random number, and let's just print out x first, and then let's do x into 10. This will be for 0 to 9. It's clear. Let's see. The answer is 5, 1, 9. The best example actually we got early, which is 9999. So what happens is, even though it's 999, the answer would be 9 because of math.floor. So that's how you can get integers between 0 to 9. What if you want to have integers between 0 to 10? In that scenario, well, it's very simple. All you do is you multiply it by a number lower than what you want. So let's say x into 11, and this should give you up to 10. Let's try to see this. 3. You see, this one's giving you 4, this one's giving you 5, because it is multiplied by 11. Now, that being said, it should also give you a number till 10 and not just 9. Well, you can continue to play along. Not sure when. Here it is. So you got the number 10. So same way, if you want anything between 0 to 99, just change this 11 to 100. And you should get a number between 0 to 99 of the same thing, which is 44 in this scenario. What if you want a number between 1 and 10? For instance, you have 0 to 9. What if you want a number between 1 and 10? So you increase both by 1. Well, as you saw, I increased 1 on my comments. I can also add a +1 here and everything will remain the same, which means it will still return 0 to 9, but I'm adding 1, so it makes it 1 to 10. So this is something that you will use very often, especially when you're trying to randomize things. And I used it when I wanted to do some automated post to one of the social sites. It was very difficult that if I restrain the post to a timed manner, the social site will sense that there's an automation going on, they'll ban my account. So what I had to do was I had to fool the social site by having a randomization between 15 to 30 minutes so that it doesn't appear that a person, it's automated. It's like a person doing at different times depending on how it goes. The random function that we are going to write will always return a random number between minimum, or the number that we are going to say, which is including minimum, just like we had 0, and maximum, which is excluding maximum. So let's try to write this small function that we're talking about. Function generate random min max. So you can just give in the range. So rather than doing 0 to 9, 10 again and again, we can write a small function that will give us the range of random numbers in that. So let's say return math.floor as we did, and applying the same formula out here, math.random into max minus min. So I wanted 0 to 10 but not including 10. In that case it was 10 minus 0, and that's how I got the number 10. Similarly 11, so it's excluding 11. So you always do a max minus min. And as we said, we want to just do a plus min here. Well, the plus min will tell it, let's say if I want the number between 9 and 29. In this scenario, the minimum would be 9 and the maximum would be 29. And this would be 29 minus 9, which will be 20. And plus min, because what will happen is the moment you do a randomization multiplication, it will give you 0 to some number. Now you need to make sure you start from that number, and that's the reason we do a min. So the minimum value of this particular equation can be 0, and you add min, which is you start from 9, and that's the reason you need to give the min. So that's the random function that you can use. Now you can also have something, another random function which includes both min and max. Let's try to copy this function and just say random both. In this scenario, the only difference that you will have is rather than max minus min, you will make it max minus min plus 1. Let's see an example. So let's say if we have to, let me just adjust the formatting. Alright, so let's say an example where I want to have numbers between 0 and 10 and including 10. So let's put that same thing into the formula where max is 10 and the min is 0. So the difference is 10 plus 1, which means 11. The moment I do, and if you can recollect, I can use the same formula for 11. Now, the reason I add a min, again, it's the same reason, because your starting point has to be the minimum value that you want to give. These are the two functions that you will probably end up using, and most of the time Googling, I would say. It's better you know it, and it's very easy to remember. That was math.random for you. Go and practice some random numbers. See you in the next class.